What if I told you that one small change in the way you drink coffee each day could help your body handle blood sugar more effectively? Not with a miracle powder. Not with an expensive supplement. And I'm definitely not trying to sell you anything. I'm talking about ordinary coffee, the same coffee that may already be sitting in your kitchen right now. But there is one detail almost nobody pays attention to, and that detail can make a surprising difference. It's not just what you drink. It's when you drink it, how you drink it, and what you drink it with. If you are over 50, over 60, if you've been told your sugar is a little high, if you feel sleepy after meals, thirsty more often than before, if your energy drops in the middle of the day for no clear reason, then stay with me until the end. Because this is one of those simple changes that sounds almost too small to matter, but in real life, it can matter a lot. What concerns me most is not only the people who already know they have type 2 diabetes. It's the much larger group living in that dangerous gray zone. Their glucose is creeping up. Their belly fat is increasing. Their energy is going down.
Their sleep is worse.
They know something is changing, but they don't yet understand how to respond. And many of them believe the only path forward is medication, more medication, and then waiting for the next bad lab result. But daily habits shape blood sugar more than most people realize. And one of those habits is coffee. Before I explain the right way to use coffee in your favor, let me make one thing clear. Coffee is not a cure. It does not replace your doctor. It does not erase the effects of a poor diet, inactivity, or lack of sleep. But when used correctly, coffee can become a useful ally. And when used the wrong way, it can quietly work against you. To understand why, picture your pancreas like a factory. Its job is to produce insulin, the hormone that helps move sugar out of your bloodstream and into your cells, where that sugar can be used as energy. When you eat, glucose rises in the blood. The factory responds. Insulin is released. The doors of the cells open. Sugar goes where it belongs. That is how the system is supposed to work. The trouble begins when this system is overloaded day after day, year after year.
Too much sugar.
Too many refined carbohydrates.
Too many glucose spikes. Too little movement. Too little sleep.
Over time, the cells stop responding as well as they should. The pancreas has to push harder. It must produce more insulin to get the same result. This is insulin resistance, and for many people, that is the road that leads straight toward type 2 diabetes. So where does coffee enter the story? Coffee is much more than caffeine. It contains natural compounds that researchers have studied for years, especially compounds like chlorogenic acids. These compounds appear to influence how the body handles glucose. In simple terms, when coffee is used properly, it may help make the rise in blood sugar after meals more controlled.
Not dramatic. Not magical. Just more controlled.
And when blood sugar rises more gently, the body is under less stress. This is why so many people are surprised when they learn that coffee itself is not always the problem. Often, the real problem is the coffee routine. The timing is wrong. The stomach is empty. The cup is loaded with sugar. It's paired with biscuits, white bread, cake, or sweet cream. It's taken too late in the day, damaging sleep. In other words, the benefit is destroyed by the habit around it. I've seen this pattern again and again. A man in his 70s once told me, "I drink coffee every day. I even walk. I'm trying to do things right. So why is my sugar still high?" When I asked him to describe his exact routine, the answer was clear almost immediately. He woke up and drank strong coffee before eating anything. Later in the afternoon, he had another cup with something sweet. And sometimes he drank coffee again at night, thinking it calmed him down. He believed coffee was helping him, but the way he was using it was putting his body under more pressure, not less. That brings me to the first and most common mistake: drinking coffee immediately after waking up, on a completely empty stomach. When you wake up, your body is already in a natural stress response state. Cortisol is higher in the morning. That is normal. It helps wake you up and prepares your body for the day. One of the things cortisol does is signal the liver to release glucose into the bloodstream so you have energy. But when you pour caffeine into that system right away, before water, before protein, before any food, you can intensify that effect. For some people, that means a sharper rise in blood sugar and a shakier start to the day. They feel alert at first, but then the crash comes. Irritability, hunger, cravings, anxiety, or fatigue by mid-morning. That doesn't mean morning coffee is bad. It means the first thing in your body should not be strong coffee on an empty stomach if your glucose is already a problem. The second big mistake is what many people put into the coffee.
Let's be honest.
In a lot of homes, coffee is not really coffee anymore.
It becomes sugar with coffee flavor. Or sweetener with cream.
Or coffee with flavored syrup, cookies, crackers, cake, or sweetbread on the side. Then people say, coffee raises my sugar. But it wasn't the coffee alone. It was the entire glucose spiking package. If your goal is better blood sugar control, plain coffee is very different from coffee loaded with sugar. That spoonful may seem small, but if it is repeated every day, once, twice, 3 times, it matters. And even artificial sweeteners are not a perfect free pass for everyone. Some people tolerate them well. Others may find they increase cravings, keep the taste for sweetness alive, or interfere with better eating habits. The point is simple: the more your coffee tastes like dessert, the less likely it is to help your metabolism. The third mistake is the time of day. Many people don't realize how long caffeine can stay in the body. You may drink coffee in the late afternoon and think, I can still fall asleep, so it doesn't affect me. But sleep is not only about falling asleep. It is also about sleep quality.
Deep sleep matters.
Restorative sleep matters. And poor sleep is one of the fastest ways to worsen insulin resistance. So even if late coffee doesn't keep your eyes open, it may still reduce the quality of the sleep your body needs to regulate glucose properly. This creates a vicious cycle. You sleep poorly, so you wake up tired. Then you reach for stronger coffee earlier and more often. That pushes stress hormones higher. Your cravings rise. Your glucose control gets worse. Then you feel even more exhausted the next day. Now here is the good news. When you correct these mistakes, the difference can be felt surprisingly quickly. So what is the smarter way to drink coffee if your goal is steadier blood sugar? First, do not make coffee the very first thing that touches your stomach in the morning.
Wake up. Drink water first.
Give your body a little time to fully come online. Then eat something simple that includes protein. Eggs, plain yogurt, cheese, nuts, or another protein source that works for you. After that, drink your coffee. This simple sequence can soften the stress response and make the morning much easier on your body. Think about it this way: instead of shocking your system awake, you are supporting it awake. Second, drink your coffee as plain as possible. No sugar if you can avoid it. If you absolutely need a transition period, reduce gradually rather than forcing yourself overnight and quitting 2 days later. But work toward plain coffee. Your taste buds adapt. Most people are surprised by this. At first they think plain coffee is impossible.
A few weeks later, sweet coffee tastes too sweet.
The body adjusts when you give it the chance. If you want a little extra flavor without turning your cup into dessert, a small amount of cinnamon can be a better choice for many people. It adds warmth, improves the taste, and fits far better into a blood sugar-friendly routine than sugar ever will. Third, one of the most useful times to drink coffee is not randomly, but strategically. For many people, a small cup before a main meal works better than coffee after a heavy meal with something sweet. Why? Because the goal is not to chase the blood sugar spike after it happens. The goal is to create a more favorable setup before the meal begins. Used this way, coffee becomes part of the routine, not an afterthought. Fourth, if you are physically active, even a little, that is a powerful opportunity. A short walk, some stairs, light resistance training, even consistent house movement after meals can help the muscles pull glucose out of the bloodstream. Muscles are one of the biggest places glucose can go. When muscles are used, they become hungry for fuel. That means blood sugar can be managed more efficiently. Coffee will never outperform movement, but coffee combined with movement is far stronger than coffee sitting next to a chair. That is why I always say the best cup of coffee is the one that belongs inside a healthy routine. Not beside a sugary breakfast. Not beside a pack of biscuits. Not at night in front of the television. Not as a substitute for water, sleep, protein, or movement. Now let me tell you about another type of person I see often. Someone who says, I'm taking my medication, so I thought the rest would take care of itself. But medication works best when the daily routine supports it. If every cup of coffee comes with sugar, if every afternoon crash leads to another sweet snack, if every night ends with caffeine and poor sleep, the body is fighting an uphill battle all day long. But when the routine changes, the body often responds with gratitude. Energy becomes more stable. Cravings become less intense. That heavy feeling after meals starts to ease. Morning hunger feels more normal.
Sleep improves.
And with time, glucose readings may begin to reflect those changes too. This is why I want you to stop thinking of coffee as either good or bad. That is too simplistic. The better question is, what role is your coffee playing in your daily metabolic pattern? Is it supporting balance, or is it adding stress? Let me make this practical. If you wake up and drink strong coffee immediately on an empty stomach, change that first. If you take sugar in every cup, change that next. If you always pair coffee with cookies, sweet bread or processed snacks, change that too. If you drink coffee late in the afternoon or at night and your sleep is poor, that is another place to act immediately. You do not need to change everything in one day. But you do need to stop pretending that small habits are too small to matter. Small habits are exactly what build your health, or slowly damage it. And there is something else important here, especially for people over 60. As we get older, the body becomes less forgiving. The same habit that did little damage at 30 can create a bigger impact at 60 or 70.
Sleep becomes lighter.
Muscle mass declines more easily. Glucose regulation becomes more fragile. Recovery is slower. That is why precision matters more with age, not less.
The details matter.
The timing matters.
The consistency matters.
So if you are serious about taking better care of your blood sugar, here is the mindset I want you to keep. Protect your mornings, protect your sleep, reduce unnecessary sugar, and make coffee work with your body, not against it. And please remember this, coffee is not the hero by itself. The real hero is the routine.
Coffee is just one piece.
The full picture looks like this: a protein-based breakfast instead of a sugary one, fewer ultra-processed snacks, more walking, better sleep, more water, less mindless sugar, and coffee used intentionally rather than emotionally. When these pieces come together, they reinforce each other. Blood sugar becomes steadier. Appetite becomes more predictable. Energy becomes more reliable. And that feeling of losing control over your own body starts to fade. If you already have diabetes, never use a video like this as a reason to stop medication or adjust treatment on your own. Use this information as a conversation starter with your doctor. Let your glucose monitor, your labs, and your medical guidance help you personalize what works for you. What helps one person may need adjustment for another. That is normal. But if all you take from this video is one action, let it be this: do not drink your coffee thoughtlessly anymore. Respect the timing. Respect what you add to it. Respect what you pair it with. Respect the effect it has on your sleep. Because when you start respecting the small things, the body often responds in big ways. And if someone in your family struggles with high blood sugar, prediabetes, or type 2 diabetes, send this message to them. Sometimes people don't need a lecture. They need one simple idea explained clearly enough that they can finally use it.
This may be that idea.
Your body is not trying to punish you. It is trying to communicate with you. Fatigue, cravings, thirst, poor sleep, belly weight, glucose swings, these are not random betrayals. They are signals. And many times, progress begins not with something extreme, but with something ordinary done correctly and consistently. A better breakfast. A shorter walk after meals. An earlier bedtime. A simpler cup of coffee. That is how health is rebuilt. Not in one dramatic moment, but in small choices repeated often enough that the body can finally trust them. So before your next cup, pause for a second and ask yourself, is this cup helping me or hurting me? That one question could change more than you think. Take care of yourself. Take care of the people you love. And remember, your future health is being shaped by the daily habits you repeat when no one is watching. Start with one change today.
Make it simple. Make it consistent.
And let your body show you what it can do when you finally begin working with it instead of against it.